It's an incredible story, actually, a really, really feel-good story from the world of football. England football captain Harry Kane has launched a sponsorship deal with Leyton Orient to raise money for charity. It's kind of a first, isn't it, in British football?
Absolutely. The Tottenham striker will sponsor Orient's home, away and third shirts for the 2021 season. The proceeds will go to NHS charities, as well as the Haven House Children's Hospice and the mental health charity Mind. Delighted that Harry joins us now from North London. Morning, Harry.
How are you doing? You okay?
Very good, thank you. And all the better, because when I saw this story yesterday and I saw what you were doing, I was absolutely thrilled to bits, not least because I'm a patron of the Haven House Trust and I know how important and what a difference it's going to make. But where did the idea come about from, Harry?
Yeah, so basically, Nigel Travis, the owner of Leyton Orient, got in touch with my brother who represents me, and basically between them and a couple of others at Leyton Orient come up with an idea of what they wanted to do, and basically my brother brought it to me, and I kind of fell in love with the idea straight away. Really, it was a chance to help, obviously, Leyton Orient, who gave me my first kind of professional start and got me underway in my professional career, and then obviously helping three amazing causes during this difficult time. So yeah, we kind of got the ball rolling. We had to ask kind of the Premier League, the FA, the EFL, Tottenham to make sure kind of we had no loopholes, and thankfully everyone was on board, and we managed to launch it yesterday.
And if Tottenham are ever drawn against Leyton Orient, what happens then? What do you do?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I just crack on as normal. I think everyone kind of realised kind of the good work that we was doing, and it was nothing to do with obviously any conflict between Tottenham and Leyton Orient. So yeah,
Harry, it's a wonderful initiative, the first of its kind, as Ranveer said over here. The three charities as well, particularly. I mean, there'll be lots of other charities going. Goodness me, how did they get chosen? Why did you choose these three particularly?
Well, I think the frontline workers, I think we've all seen the amazing job they've been doing during this difficult time, putting their lives on the line, whether it's delivery drivers, bus drivers, care workers, shop workers. There's so many people I can name. So I thought it was important that we kind of gave them as much support as possible. Haven House, the Children's Hospice, as you spoke about, you know quite a lot about them, and it was just kind of something that's very local to me. It's grew up not far from where they're based, and they do some amazing work for children and their families during their most difficult times, really, and whether that's daycare or end of life care or so many tough things they have to support. So and obviously during these times, charities are taking a bit of a hit as well, not getting the support and the fundraisers they normally get. So we thought that was important. And of course, the mental health charity, over the last couple of years, I've got to know more and more about mental health and what fundraisers like Mind do and charities like Mind do. And yeah, especially during this lockdown period, there's not going to be as much people talking to friends and family and things like that. So it's important that people feel like there's somewhere to go and somewhere to talk to, and that's why we went for Mind as well.
And you've paid sort of what we understand is over the odds for what a team of Leyton Orient's position in the league would normally get, but 10% of it is going to go. Of all shirt sales now will go to those charities. And we've got some fantastic breaking news, actually, on that regard. This only launched a day ago,
Yesterday, yeah. Yesterday, I think Orient had their biggest ever retail sales, Harry, off the back of this story, which is testament to what a fantastic story it is and the impact it's going to have, not only for Orient, which is great, but also these charities.
Well, yeah, that's exactly the response we wanted. We obviously didn't know how kind of it was going to be taken yesterday. It was the first time I think it's ever been done. So yeah, to hear that is exactly what we wanted, and it puts a smile on my face. So hopefully people keep buying the shirts. Like you said, 10% goes to them charities, and of course it's great for Leyton Orient as well, who are going to struggle during this time with this uncertainty to know whether League One, League Two are going to continue. So yeah, it's helping everyone out.
And how important is it, do you think, for players like yourself, for clubs who are right at the top, during this very difficult time, obviously lots of questions about how football can start again, whether you'll play behind closed doors, what will happen to those lower league clubs who are really struggling without their gate revenue and the fans and everything. What's your view on the restarting of, or just finishing off the season behind closed doors versus putting a freeze on it, which some of those teams who are going to be relegated would really rather it happen that way?
Yeah, it's a really hard one. I don't think anyone knows the right answer at the moment. I think what the Premier League are doing, from what I know, from what I've spoke to them about, is just going with the guidelines and kind of taking it week by week and seeing what the safest thing to do is. I think I say the majority of the players are looking forward to playing again whenever it's possible, but we know we want it to be as safe as possible as well. So it's a hard situation, like I said, for the clubs. In Championship, League One, League Two as well. There's a lot of uncertainty to know how financially it's going to impact them. So I think it's important we all try and help each other as much as possible during this time. And the Premier League is obviously one of the biggest leagues in the world, but for English football, it's important that we try and keep all the leagues up and running. Yeah,
I mean, interestingly, your old club, Leyton Orient, are going to find out later today whether their league will be suspended for the rest of this season. How important, Harry, is it that those clubs at the top and the players at the top can support their clubs down below and in some of the leagues a little bit lower down?
Well, yeah, I think the football family always would want to come together in a time like this. Obviously, all clubs, I think, are going to take a hit financially from the Premier League all the way down to League Two. But obviously, the lower leagues are going to feel that probably a little bit more. So whether it's the players, whether it's the clubs, I know a lot of players are doing a lot of stuff for charities and doing as much as they can for everything and communities during this time. So yeah, I guess it's down to each individual and each club themselves to see how they want to go about it. Obviously, this is something that I wanted to do personally. So yeah, I guess we just have to wait and see how it unfolds. And
in terms of training, as you said, getting back to playing, first of all, have you had a test for coronavirus yet? Because, of course, any of the players, before you start training together, you'll all need to be tested, won't you? And you all want to start training, at least in small groups, at least socially distanced, as soon as you can, presumably. What's the situation for you?
Yeah, so basically, since the lockdown, we started doing Zoom sessions pretty much every day. And then about a week ago, we managed to kind of go into the training ground. We was allowed to have kind of one-on-one training with one member of staff on one pitch, and still making sure we're self-distancing from everyone. So we've been doing that for a while now, which has been good. But we had tests on Monday. I think all the players and the staff had tests, and everyone come back negative, which was great. So yeah, I think the clubs are talking to the Premier League and trying to find a way, hopefully around next week or within the next couple of weeks, to start training in small groups of 4 or 5. But yeah, hopefully to be tested regularly as well. So like I said, we're kind of taking it kind of day by day, week by week, to see what we can and can't do, and we're just kind of going with the flow.
There was some awful news yesterday, Harry, with one of your teammates, Dele Alli, who was attacked in his home with his family. We don't want to go into the details of it. I just wonder whether you've spoken to Dele and how he and his family are doing.
Yeah, so I texted him after the day after it happened, and yeah, he seemed okay. I think obviously when anything like that happens, I guess you'd be in a little bit of shock. I think he was a little bit angry, but he said to me, obviously the most important thing was he was okay, his family was okay, no one was hurt or anything like that. So yeah, it's just a horrible thing to hear, especially when it's someone close to you, one of your good friends. But I guess it's just one of them things. It wakes you up even more to make sure yeah, you're as secure as possible in your home, doing as much as possible to make sure things like that don't happen again.
And look, we've had Glenn Murray on last week, I think, or the week before, sort of talking about his concerns with the Premier League starting up again. He was very open about the fact that he knew that Brighton are in a different position, certainly to Spurs, because they are in a relegation battle still, and there are certain people that would suggest that, well, it suits all the teams down in the relegation battle to just call an end to the season, because then they won't get relegated. Do you have any concerns, Harry, about the starting of the season again? The loose date we've been told is around the 12th of June. Or any of your teammates nervous about the impact that this could have?
From what I've heard, obviously, I've not seen too many of my teammates at the moment, but from at the moment, I think everyone's okay. I think we want to see how the Premier League kind of give us a plan and see what that looks like. And I guess we just kind of go from there. Me personally, I'm happy to just kind of start training in small groups if we're allowed, and just trying to get back to some normality as soon as possible. I guess every player is different. Everyone has their own personal view, but
playing without
for
the
me,
fans,
I think,
how is that? I mean, playing in an empty stadium.
Playing in an empty stadium, and thoughts like if it does happen for Liverpool fans as well, because they could. In all honesty,
they're going to win the Garraway
first time in all those years, and the fans won't be there.
Yeah.
How do you feel for the fans as we come to this sort of the end of the season, them not being able to be a part of it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really difficult situation. Obviously, Liverpool, I think they deserve the title. They deserve to lift the title, and with their fans not being there, it'll be a strange situation, but. I guess no one. Obviously, we've not really been through a time like this. Obviously, never in my lifetime and a lot of people's lifetime. So it's hard to know what the right thing to do is. And I guess we're just trying to take as much kind of advice as possible and go from there. The fans are a massive part of football. They make football what it is, and they make the game what it is. So it'll be different to play without them. I've done it before for England in a game, so it's not the same, but. I guess if we want to finish the season this season, then we're going to have to probably do that.
And Harry, I know you've got little ones, very little ones, so you're not probably doing much homeschooling. But how are you keeping them entertained? Just tell us a little bit about how home life has been during lockdown.
Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, during the season and even in the off season, we'd have had the Euros this year, so I don't always get as much time at home with them. So. Obviously with my wife Kate and my two girls been keeping me busy. Just trying to do as much activity as possible. A lot of colouring, a lot of painting.
Are you good with your arts and crafts? I'm
all right. I don't mind. It takes my mind off things when I do a bit of colouring. So I almost find myself sitting there longer than them. So it's been nice to spend some time with them for sure.
I bet they've absolutely loved it as well, Harry. I have to say, usually when we do our interviews down the line, people are sitting themselves in front of bookcases. There's no books behind you, but there are some pretty impressive shirts. Can you just tell us what those shirts represent? Are they your first ones for Spurs?
Yeah, so the one with the jacket behind me as well was the last game at White Hart Lane, which I think was yesterday, a couple of years ago from yesterday. So. The last ever game at White Hart Lane, we beat Man United 2-1. I managed to score, so obviously a pretty historic shirt for the club. So that's that one, and the other one is my first Champions League hat-trick, which was a few years ago now. So I like to have some stuff around. This is my little office in the house where I get a bit of peace and quiet now and then. So
is that the only part of the house that Kate lets you keep some of your memorabilia? Is it all put into that room? Because if you're anything, she's anything like my wife, I have one space where I'm allowed to put stuff that means stuff to me. The rest of the house is hers. I've got the one space.
Now, to be fair, Kate's all right. The majority of the stuff's in this room, but we've got some stuff in the kitchen and around the staircase as well. So she lets me have more than most for sure.
Good stuff. Well, look, honestly, Harry, we're thrilled to bits with what you've done. The amount of people that have got in touch. Natalie says, I'm not a football fan or an Orient fan. However, I am a Harry Kane fan. Yeah. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant idea. Sarah says on Facebook, not just a Spurs fan, a football fan in general. I feel Harry Kane, what he's done is amazing. Louise says, thank you so much, Harry. It means so much to us Orient fans. And Lexi says, Harry Kane, what a true gent. You know, regardless of what you thought, you wanted to do this because it was your old club, but it's having huge impact already. So on behalf of the charities, we want to say thank you, but also the wider football population celebration as well, and those beyond it. I think it's an incredible gesture. So top work, Harry.
It could be the start of others wanting to do something similar, which would be
lovely?
Amazing. Harry, fantastic to have you live on the show this morning. And
Thank
good luck
you.
with training and when it starts, whenever it starts.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
guys.